Have you ever felt like you're just not getting the things done that you actually set out to, right? You're busy every day, always something coming up, and not actually getting anywhere with your goals. Well, if that's you, then I want to share something that is going to change 2025 for you. I want to share a step-by-step system to plan your weeks so effectively that reaching your goals becomes, well, almost inevitable. We're going to combine long-term vision with a simple, repeatable weekly process. And guess what? All you need is a clear goal, a simple document, and a Google Calendar. And also, don't worry, this is not some complicated 50-step productivity hack. Rather, this is really just a proven, battle-tested process that will help you achieve your biggest dreams or goals, no matter what they are. And dreams and goals are personal, right? So whether it's spending more time with family or friends, launching that side business, or just getting in shape, this will help you achieve that. And you might be wondering, right? Why should I listen to you? For those that don't know me, of course. Well, over the past 5 years, I've invested thousands of hours into perfecting this planning system, and it's helped me achieve quite a bit considering the type of person I used to be. I've collected information from some of the top experts in the field, and you probably know them. You have James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. A lot of his principles are in the system. You have Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've also had plenty of coaches throughout my time who have helped me refine my process and my approach. Now, I have tested out this system in my own life since 2020. And I've seen consistent, sustainable results whenever I apply this. So in short, let's just dive into it. Now, to start off, you need a destination, an end goal, right? What is your big vision? What is your goal for 2025? And make sure you have this clear and top of mind. And this could be your promotion, this could be writing a book, or running a marathon. Ideally, you want to have an idea of where you are headed. Then ask yourself, why does this matter to me? Is it okay if I don't achieve it? If it is okay, then it's probably not important enough. But this is where you need to go deep, really deep. Like, why? Why do you want this? Really ask yourself. It should almost feel necessary to achieve. Think of that interstellar scene when he's going through the black hole. But now that you have your goal, let's break it down. You take your big yearly goal and you split it into quarters or into months. But what you do here is you ask yourself what needs to happen every 3 months to ensure that you're on track. And just to note, your goals can also be 8 months, they can be 6 months. The point is to implement this system whenever you want to achieve something. But once you have the quarters, break those down into monthly milestones or monthly goals, right? Then you break down those months into weekly targets. And by the end of this process, you have a clear roadmap that shows exactly what you need to do each week, and you feel connected to your goal. So I want to demonstrate how this process would look like using the weekly planning template that I've been using since 2020. Now, I'm going to come up with an example of goals and activities that I'm going to write here just to show you the practical application of how this planning system works. So let's assume that I want to get more views on YouTube. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first add the area in which I'd like to hit my goal, which is going to be YouTube. And the goal here is get 1,000 views this year, right? Or I'm going to keep it simple for math's sake. Just for quick maths. Get 1,000 views in 10 months, right? Okay, there we go. So 1,000 views in 10 months. The next part is to break this down into quarters or into months. Now, since I don't have quarters in this document right here, I'm just going to break it down into months. So we'll go with YouTube And that's fairly simple calculation, right? That's 100 views per month, right? So I need to get 100 views per month on my YouTube channel, on my videos. And per week, well, what is that per week? Again, fairly simple. That is 25 views per week to get to 100 per month. Now I know how much the quantifiable number, how many views I need per month, per week to reach my goal in 10 months, which is my big goal. It's like, okay, well, here, the next question then is, well, what do I need to do to get 25 views, right? Well, I need to post videos. Okay, how long? Well, does it matter? It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. The point is, define what you need to do, right, in order to hit this goal. But the most simple thing is, after you've defined it, because you could define and say like, okay, well, I want 5-minute videos, right? It should be valuable. At least subjectively, you have to find it valuable. Because, you know, yeah. But you want to define what it means for that one video. So whatever your goal is, for example, if it's running a marathon, it's like, okay, I am going to run 42 kilometers. That's, I need to be able to run that, which means I need to be able to run that distance, or at least close to that distance within the running date. And then you break it down, right? You can't just say I'm going to run every day. You can't run for 5 minutes when you have to run 42 kilometers. Or 5 kilometers when you have to run 42. So you want to define it, be as specific as possible. And once you've defined it, now you come down here, because now you know that, okay, per week, I need to post one video, and it needs to be 5 minutes minimum. It should be valuable, or at least I should find it valuable, and you can have a lot more criteria here. But now we come down here, and this is now a part of the area that I would like to work on and plan my week with. So post one video, right? That is the outcome that is going to help me get to 25 views per week. That is the action that I can actually do. Post one video per week. What does posting one video entail? What type of work has to go into that? This is now where you look at, okay, what do I actually have to do in order to actually get this done, to get this out there? It's like, well, I need to script, maybe brainstorm content, right? What do I want to talk about? What do I want to create the video about? Once you've done that, well, now I need to record it. Okay, once you've recorded it, you edit it, and then you post it. Simple as that, right? Okay, well, how long is all of this going to take, right? Because if you have an idea of how long it's going to take, it's very easy to plan. If you don't know how long your activities take, you are going to struggle when it comes to planning it. So do yourself a favor, think about how long each activity takes. But let's say that scripting and brainstorming the content takes about 30 minutes. Recording it takes another 30 minutes. Editing it is going to take slightly longer, so that's about 2 hours. And posting it is going to take, well, how long does posting it take? You got to upload, depending on your internet, but let's say 15 minutes. So in total, this now takes me 3 hours and 15 minutes. And now that you've understood how to use this document, we move on to the next step, which is the actual planning of when you're going to do this. Because it's one thing to say that you're going to do this, but another thing is to actually stick to it. Now, the easiest way that I found is to use a calendar. So if we're going back here, I can see that, okay, well, I need to script and brainstorm my content. I'm going to set up some time on Monday evening, 30 minutes and I can just copy this in here, right? And this is going to take me YouTube, and I'll just mark this red because, well, red for YouTube, right? So here I have my first little item that I'm going to be doing. But you repeat that process for all of these, right? So you say record, you know, it could be Tuesday, and you have edit, which could be 2 hours, you know, back to back, or it could be 1 hour this day and 1 hour the next. And then you can post it on, let's say, Thursday, and this could just be a little action item or task. There we go. That's it. That's how you use it. But the most important thing is that you plan it, right? Now, you can repeat this process for as many areas that you have in your life as you'd like, right? So this could be social, this could be work, this could be health, doesn't matter what it is. Use this document to get an idea of what would you like to achieve this year and why is it important for you. Now, I could say I'd like to be more social. How does that look like? Well, it means that I have, you know, maybe more friends, or that I do more things with friends, actually, because more friends doesn't necessarily mean better friendships. I want to be more social with my friends. I want to do more things with my friends and meet more new people. Okay, so meet new people and be more social with my friends, right? Then your next goal is, of course, to figure out, well, how does that look like? Same with work, right? No matter what your work is, let's say you work a corporate job at Deloitte or something like that, you might think, I want a 5% increase in salary, or I want a promotion. Doesn't matter what it is, you have to think about it, right? And so you go through the process every single step of the way here, monthly, weekly, and then you actually think about the action items that you can work on that week. And the reason I say to do it this way is because it kind of follows that principle, consistent, better, more, new, as opposed to trying to do something new all the time to get results. It's a lot more proven in terms of getting results to just be consistent with it, right? So let's assume, in a quick example here, let's assume that you're a lumberjack and you're being tasked with cutting down 10 trees every single week. Now, as you first start hacking away with your axe, you're probably going to suck. You're new at this. You don't know how to do it very well. You have two choices now. The first is, of course, you can suck in the beginning and take a little bit longer to get the hang of it, or you can try and go and find a new way or a different way to do what you're currently doing. Now, most people, they don't like to suck at things. So they either quit or they find better, easier ways to do it. But that really defeats the purpose of learning the basics of what it is that you're doing. Similar to Karate Kid in the scene where he has to hang up the jacket over and over again, it's the same principle. You have to get good at the basics. Now, being consistent, hacking consistently, allows you to get a good routine, a good sort of technique in place. Once you've mastered that technique with consistency day in, day out, that's when you can get better, right? Or you can increase how often you do it, so you can do it more. Then you can get better. And finally, once you've mastered all of these things, you can look at how can I do this in a new way, or is there a new way to cut trees, right? And that's when all these machines come into the picture. But the most important and the key takeaway here is be consistent with what it is that you have to do. And this really will help you achieve your goals. So going back to it all, YouTube, get 1,000 views in 10 months. Social, meet new people and be more social with my friends. I want a 5% increase in my salary, right? Or I want a promotion. And health, just get healthier, be more healthy, right? And all of this is very easy to add in here. So for example, social, meet 2 friends per week, right? Or more. Work, you know, do 15 extra minutes work every day, right? Health, exercise daily, right? Simple as that. The key here is that you just go through the whole document and you make sure you know what you want. That is the first step, and you know what it's going to take. So congrats, there you go. That's how you use the weekly planning document. Now, as you go through the week, track what you get done, right? A simple checklist in a notebook or digital to-do list works great. Tick off tasks at the end of the day or during the day. But the point here is these daily micro review really cement the habit. Now, a pro tip here, if you have recurring tasks like a weekly status meeting or a Saturday workout, set them as repeating events in your calendar so you don't have to re-enter them each week. And as you go through the week, track what you get done, right? A simple checklist in a notebook or, again, a digital to-do list just works great. I typically use my Remarkable to tick off tasks throughout the day and at the end of the day. Now, I really want to emphasize this step because the daily micro reviews really cement the habit. It makes it easier to monitor and be more aware of what went well, what didn't go well in the pursuit of these goals. Now, at the end of the week, and for me, Sunday is just a great day, review your progress. Did you complete what you set out to do? And if not, why? Were there any distractions, any social events, or work emergencies? Ask yourself, will I also care about these distractions in 5 years, in 2 years, even 1 year? But if the answer is no, then you know what to adjust. And what can you improve? What can you do differently next time, right? Acknowledge, accept, and think ahead. And finally, you want to update your document, copy last week's template, delete the old info, and plan this week or the next week, but keep the goals. But this is where you repeat the cycle, and before you know it, it becomes second nature. Now, no matter what your goals are, your productivity hinges on self-care, diet, exercise, and sleep. And I think a lot of people really emphasize how important a well-functioning body and mind is to make it easier to stay consistent. So if you're sleeping well, if you're fueling your body properly and exercising regularly, you'll be more resilient, more focused, and less likely to fall off track. So consider, what steps can you take to be active? What steps can you take to prioritize sleep and to have a decent diet? Now, this is a system that has worked for me and countless others that I have shared this with, but also coached. So again, start with a clear vision, break it down, and this only happens once in a while, right? Reviewing is of course going to be important here, but have that vision. Then you want to plan your week, track your tasks, and review weekly. And over time, you'll look back and see tangible progress no matter what you are pursuing. So if you found this helpful, let me know if there's anything I can do differently or anything you'd like to see. Just let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.